The most impactful story for me was one of Amina, and she's a 22-year-old girl. When Amina was 8 years old, her mom couldn't afford to take care of her anymore, and so her mom sent her to India by herself to work as a child laborer, and she started working in someone's home, washing their pots and pans. And when she turned 12, the family she was living with viewed that as old enough. She was old enough to start raping. So not only did she wash their pots and pans and clean their house, she was also raped by the father in the home. At 14, she had enough money saved that she could take a bus back from the town in India where she was living back to Nepal. But she didn't know where her mother was, what village she was from. She was too young to remember that when her mom sent her away, so she had nowhere to go. On the bus ride on the way to Nepal, she met an older Nepali woman, became sort of friends with her, and asked if she could work for the woman in her home. And so she worked with the woman in a small village where they had no electricity and no running water. She worked in their rice paddies and helped prepare food. She did that for 2 years. And then she moved to another village and did very similar work for another 2 years. And when she turned 18, she met a Nepali British soldier, and she worked in their home, cooking and cleaning. And the Nepali man started to rape her while she was there. And because he was a soldier, he had lots of soldier friends, and he would bring them over, and every day somebody different would rape Amina, and she lived there for 2 years. She became very bitter by this and very angry, and one day she couldn't take it anymore, and she poured gasoline, and the house burned down. And when the police came to arrest her, she told them her story and how he had been raping her for the last 2 years. And the policeman knew of PRC, and so he called Shanta and said, I have a girl here who has been used and abused, and I think she should go through your rehabilitation program. She's been there about a year and a month now, 13 months. And Shanta says when she first arrived, they never saw her smile. She didn't talk to anyone. She was really bitter. But slowly over time, she softened. And so when I arrived at the home, I would have never known what her story was. She was happy and friends with all the girls. She was just starting a sewing program. Like any other girl, she loved getting her hair done, painting each other's nails. They would put on fashion shows all the time. And it would be dark out, and we wouldn't have electricity in the home, and we'd just be by candlelight. They would get dressed up in their fanciest outfits, and they'd come parading around and want their pictures taken. And they'd be all shy at first until they'd kind of get in front of the camera, and then it was pose, pose, pose. And okay, just me, just her and me. Okay, all three of us. Okay, you come too. And just wanted to be beautiful like all girls are. And she had seen pictures of my family and of my niece, because it's important to me that if I expect people to open up to me, that I'm opening up to them as well. So I showed them pictures of my family and my friends and things that are important to me. 2 days before I left, I could hear her in the sewing room downstairs, and I didn't know what she was doing, but there's no electricity, and she was sewing by candlelight until midnight or so, and they go to bed at like 8 or 9 at night. So she was sewing and sewing and sewing and sewing and sewing. And then the next morning, I was supposed to leave to come back to the States, and she came and knocked on my door, and she came in my room, and she said that she had the fabric with her, and it was almost half done. Just this little outfit for my niece. And she showed it to me, and she said it's not finished, it's not finished. I'm so sorry, it's not finished. She was crying, and I gave her a hug, and we just sat on the bed, and she was crying and crying, and she was actually taking the fabric of my niece's dress and was wiping her tears with them. And she said she wanted to give me something to give to someone that I loved, and she was so sorry. And then she showed me that she had bought little bracelets that would match the outfit perfectly, and it was going to be my niece, her Christmas outfit and her Christmas bracelets to wear this year. And she was so sad that she couldn't give me the outfit. But she gave me the bracelets, and she gave bracelets to me too, to wear for Christmas. And we did, both me and my niece wore our bracelets on Christmas. But that was really very touching to have someone who's gone through so much still wants to love and still wanted to give me something to give to someone that was special to me, who I loved. It meant a lot.